party or team chat?
Just team chat.
Huh, that's what I did.
Is your threshold on 0%? Because I made that mistake the other day.
It's not at 0. It's at like 10%. Okay, I'm just not talking loud enough. We're good. We're good.
We're good. All right. Well, Beastmaster is the next pick here, and another hero that actually fills a lot of gaps in teams. You get a lot of vision as well. You can use his hawks around the map. Primal Roar is a fantastic ultimate in terms of as far as ultimates go. It's a great stun. And
I'd say it's pretty good. I'm a little worried for Beastmaster though, because there's so much AoE on Immortal's side. I feel like killing your hawks easily. They have a lot of AoE stuns. They have a lot of ground target stuns. I feel like Beastmaster's pets are going to get cleaned up, and if he does roar somebody, Jakiro is pretty good at defending heroes that are out of position because you just land like Ice Paths, Macro Pyres, things like that when the follow-up comes. So I think it'll work okay. I don't know if he's going to want to lane against a Sand King, and I think right now Immortals has that option. So, but they will have some much needed lockdown at least, and the vision control around the map is going to make a big difference, trying to spot where Immortals is actually going.
All right, well. A Dragon Knight coming out as well by Immortals, and I've seen a bit of Dragon Knights being played here and there, but not too much. He's a great frontliner, but Dragon Knight, I feel like if you don't get a good start and you fall behind, it's very hard to catch back up again when you're running this hero.
Dragon Knight can't have a bad start because he's got like 10 armor instantly and a crap load of HP regen. That's the goal. And I think the game I did watch of Immortals last night, one of them was a MP Dragon Knight, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So the cool thing that it does is it provides this front line that's difficult to kill. A lot of the damage from Optic was physical between Witch Doctor, Beastmaster, and if he gets a BKB, he doesn't have to worry about Maledict and Puck as a whole. So his goal is basically run up front, take some nukes, provide vision for his team to allow them to initiate, or he can set up what they're going to do with his stun. So I think it's a pretty good pick that goes for what Immortals wants to do, but the Morphling kind of throws that on its head a little bit because Morphling does so much magical burst damage. Rubik's quite good against Morphling for multiple reasons. You can like Strength Morph and steal his spells and stuff like that, but and the Null Field as well to reduce the magic damage. But I think right now Immortals is in an okay place. Optic Gaming can definitely split push really well. That's one good advantage that they have with Beastmaster, Puck, Morphling. They're going to be all over the map pushing lanes, and that could really hurt Immortals because oftentimes if they do fight, they're going to want to be 5 together. And then if Optic is split pushing other lanes and avoids those fights, they're almost always going to get a tower advantage because of that, or at least take more towers, pressure towers, force Immortals to have to back up. So it might be a little tough for them this game to actually take the big 5v5s they want to.
10 seconds remaining.
So you mentioned the split push coming out from Optic Gaming, but what's the pushing potential then for Immortals like? I know they've got the Jakiro with the Liquid Fire.
Yep, just Jakiro Dragon Knight basically. That's honestly about all you need. They're going to have Roche damage issues right now with those heroes, but actually killing towers, just Dragon Knight ulti and Jakiro Liquid Fire is more than enough to actually take a building.
That's
assuming no enemies are there.
Yeah, the Tusk is now coming out, and I mean I feel like Tusk was. I mean, I have flashbacks back to like TI5 when he was picked all the time, but
yeah,
he's a fun hero to watch. Definitely a fun hero to play as well. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that hero. Why have Optic Gaming gone for the Tusk pick here?
I think it gives them some outplayability over their opponents. That's something that you need to have versus Immortals. And Tusk can blink in, use Snowball, and hold that hero in with the snowball for like 3 seconds. That's basically the goal, I think, as well as just general good teamfight control. It's mostly teamfight control, good roaming early to make some stuff happen while Witch Doctor is playing hard 5, and they can get some vision as well with the Sigil. It's all around a really good pick, I think. They might have some damage problems. That's one thing that I see kind of missing on Optic. They're kind of very reliant on Morphling getting an E-Blade, I feel. But they've got decent stuns. It just might be kind of hard for them to kill their opponents. But they're pretty mobile, I would say, as well. So I really like how the Tusk kind of pulled the team together. Gives them better reach and team fight and outplayability.
Right, and then just to top things off, you got the QO. He's playing as Phantom Assassin. QO is, honestly, when I think of Phantom Assassin players, QO is one of the first players that comes to mind because, again, it feels like there's been so many games where this squad of gamers, before they were on Immortals, when they were on, MVP Phoenix and Phoenix even before that, just running down players, QO leading the charge, getting these kills. He's going to toppen off that draft there. So all around,
Yeah.
big fan. Very excited for this game as it stands because I have a feeling now that you've explained the drafts out, this does sound like it could be a very interesting game.
It should be pretty good, yeah. Oh, this... Am I on... Okay, well, I'm on player perspective, unfortunately. Let me get out of here. I think I have to disconnect, go into the watch game. You ever had this happen?
I've never had it happen, no.
So what happens if you go into Dota TV and you go to player perspective of somebody, and the person whose fault it is that game done? It's Slax's fault. Because I watched Slax's game earlier, I went into his player perspective, and then when you load into here, you have the player perspective of one of the players, which naturally prevents you from actually controlling the camera.
Okay, well I can talk about. Are you back in the game?
I might have to just restart Dota. I'm not 100%.
Okay, I can give a radio commentary.
Radio
of
commentary,
what's
it's
going on.
definitely
okay.
time for that.
So Immortals have actually just grouped up as 5 now. They're moving up the river. They have smoked as well, and they're looking for a few kills now. They're not going to get spotted from the ward. Pings are coming out, and they might actually just run into Misery. Misery's standing on the high ground by himself, and they do spot him, but do they have to catch? Febby is leading the charge, but his stun, it's only level 1, not that quite good enough. And Optic, they're holding on the high ground. They could try and fight this right now. Febby goes for the stun. Going to try and bring down Pycat. Telekinesis up as well, trying to drag him back. But now, I'm going to see the shards are going to send out. And Febby might actually fall here, and indeed he does. Optic turning it around. They get the first blood off the back of it. Pycat, strength morphing up. They can't bring him down. They can't find the damage. So Optic have completely turned this fight around. You know, QO is going to grab the rune. He's going to send out the dagger just to slow down Misery. But they might get a second kill here. The shards are going to connect. They trap him down. Dubu is so weak. One more shot will do it. And 2 kills now for Optic. Going to get a third now. The stun follows out. Can they bring down Febby as well? They've got the Orb of Venom to slow him down. But they are going to have to give it up now. And they do a lot of harassment. I mean, that really backfired for Immortals.
Okay, well, I mean, I basically understood everything that happened without having to see it, right? Because you did such a great job. People died. People died. That's all you need to know. It was a dead Rubik. Somebody else died. Who was the other death?
Febby. Febby was the first blood. Yeah, the Sand King. Are you back in the game? Or?
Oh, yeah. I just had to restart Dota. That fixed it.
Excellent.
Tried to do it the other way. Didn't work out. So Frev is actually playing the Jakiro, so it's safe lane Jakiro, which is kind of interesting. This is very out of favor. Almost always Jakiro's been support, and that's been the way that Immortals has been playing it as well. But and as a safe lane, he's going to get a lot of levels. He's going to be able to push like crazy and pick up a lot of core items. Things like Yule's is really good. You can basically set up combos with your ultimate and ice paths on people. That'll make a big difference in their later team fights. But they are going aggro try, which is kind of cool. Morphling does not deal super well with this. He's a pretty good dual lane tri-lane hero. But if he doesn't have a great time, he's going to be really behind because he needs some space to farm. And if he doesn't get kills with waveform and this tri-lane doesn't go well for Optic, it could be really bad for them.
Certainly, as it stands right now, it's a bit of a bad start for Immortals losing those 2 kills, but not the end of the world. They can turn it around for the time being. But this mid lane, this mid matchup, MP is really getting some harassment into CCNC right now, and he's already actually a level ahead as it stands. He's winning his lane out quite handedly for the time being. Yeah,
that's Quelling Blade. He already does high amounts of damage. Does 59 damage. Having a Quelling on top of that means getting last hits is pretty straightforward, so not too surprising there. But he's probably beating him by a little bit more than he should, is my initial assumption.
I mean, the game the other day when MP was playing the Dragon Knight, he wasn't actually having that good of a time against the puck. Mainly because, you know, he gets the point into Dragon Blood, which the early point is, it really helps with the armor and health regen with right-click harassment. But now we might see a kill happening up top here. Dubu gets the telekinesis off, but a lot of damage already. Snowball into him. Dubu eating tons of damage, and they are going to finish it up. But Kyo, he wants to follow up onto Pycat, but the heals are far too much. Kyo might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew now. Febby, though, moves back in with the stun. All connected onto PPD, but I think that might just be it. No more kill potential there for them. And again, Optic getting away with a kill, which Immortals really were not looking for.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous place now. Morphling's got his wand finished. He's doing all right in this lane. They still have to be careful because this is still 2 hard disables and some really good right clicks. But for now, the Tusk and the Witch Doctor are doing their job. They're keeping people alive. They're getting some kills. It's 3-0. Immortals is currently winning in the gold, but it's not much. And it's probably mostly just because of Dragon Knight doing well mid as well as Frev on the safe lane. Probably having a slightly better time than the Beastmaster. Right. So as long as this tri-lane goes well for Immortals, they could actually just steamroll this game a bit.
Oh, telekinesis up. They want to go for something here. Stuns as well, chaining it up. Pycat going to be stepped for the time, but he will eventually get out of there with the waveform. And Kyo, he moves forward. He's getting aggressive, sharded up. Might be trapped a bit here, but no, Febby is there to ward them off for the time being. These other lanes, there's a lot very aggressive coming out from Immortals, but these other lanes as well are quite interesting. And Forev has really done a number on Zai. Zai forced to back off and heal back in his own base.
Makes complete sense. So Jakiro is actually such a good 1v1 hero, especially against melees, because if that hero comes up, he has to dual breath, and this does 100 magic damage per skill point, and he gets to throw out liquid fire for free. So he's just constantly going to spam out dual breath and use liquid fire on buildings as often as he can, basically. So until he gets mana regen, he might be a little bit limited here, but it kind of looks like he's going to pick up a soul ring. So he's just going to sit here, throw a lot of fire out, and try to kill towers as fast as he can. And this is a really good situation to have a Jakiro core in, if you can get away with this.
Oh my goodness, CCNC survives with 20 HP. Just get his bottle as well.
Totally got that.
That was very tight, very tense in that moment. I mean, one misplayed end and it could have gone bad. He tried to fade shift to try and avoid it, but he actually messed it up and he only just got away with it. Yeah, very lucky. Very lucky, but I mean, yeah, Jakiro Forev is having a whale of a time in this bottom lane as it stands. He's doing all sorts of damage. I mean, these pets as well of Zai on the Beastmaster are just getting melted. But yeah, the gank is about to happen. We see a rotation by Misery. I think we have to get the damage in. Forev trapped up. Beautiful shard. Snowballed up as well to save Zai's life. Right-click damage as well will be enough. And Zai should be surviving. Indeed he is. The dual breath not enough to bring him down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Febby is getting in some decent harassment. Gets the stun off there onto Pycap, but PPD turns out his own little job, and he will actually pick up a kill. They turn it around. The bounces from the cask off the creeps. That secured them that kill.
Those were heat-seeking bounces, man. Straight back to the hero every time. MP doing some decent tower damage here. Slapping it a bit with his ultimate. Things just going really well for Optic Gaming. But again, it's 5-0, but that doesn't mean they're winning by a lot. Just means that they've gotten kills. I mean, the last hits are still looking about even, but in terms of net worth, pretty much even across the board.
Ooh.
But I bet hero levels are not the same.
On MP, the cast gets sent out. They want to go all the way early. Dream Coil as well. Misery is there. Going to be dropping the shard. So much overwhelming magic damage. And at the end of the day, the Dragon Blood is not going to save you from that. The Waning Rift on top will be enough damage. It looked like they wanted to go onto Dubu as well, but eventually going off QO. Ends up TPing in to rotate, but getting nothing done.
That was way late if he needed to be there. He needed to be there instantly. I didn't quite catch where he was before this, but he's having a little trouble getting some farm here.
It's a struggle. 28 last hits currently in that lane. I mean,
the problem is that
too great.
PA laning stage is kind of crappy, honestly. Like you're a fairly strong hero. It's kind of hard to die. You can use daggers and stuff, but until you hit level 6, your hero just really doesn't do that much.
Oh, like, top lane. They want to go on Pycap, but again, he's just morphing strength past that. He's super weak. The dagger not enough. Heals are far too much for him. Again, this is aggressive style that the Immortals are playing, but they are struggling. I mean, QO is still only level 3. Doesn't really have much in the way of levels here.
He can definitely catch up later, but you don't really want to be behind as a PA. So if you're aggro tri-laning and you're not getting kills, he's definitely got to be worried. Frev going to get ganked again here on the bot lane.
Yeah, they do want to go for this one. I mean, Misery's waiting in the trees for the time being. Frev just basically slamming out this liquid fire. You can see the amount of damage it's got already on that tier 1, bringing it down to about half HP. Just by spamming it out, and that ability, it costs no mana. You can just spam that one out for days, and
yeah, just got to level up a bit.
Still waiting there. Yeah. They really want to go for this. How feasible is this gank right now? Because
it's a little hard.
It's pushed up, but
I mean, they can definitely roar the guy, but okay, the extra TP could make the difference here.
Yeah, Forev. I'm going to see the shard sent out. Zai eating a ton of damage for the time being, but Pycat, he TP's in. This should be a kill. Misses the waveform. Still, they are going to be able to find that kill anyway. Pycat with the right clicks will find it. But meanwhile, on the mid, CCNC is getting approached upon, but that ward, look at that placement on the high ground, is going to see exactly what's going on. CCNC is not going to get caught out from the mispositioning there.
Yeah, it definitely took a third hero to get that kill, because if they did go on him, as soon as they do, he's going to lower your attack speed, because between dual breath and liquid fire, you're lowering attack speed by like 100. So that means actually you're tanky, and you can lower their attack speed. You're probably going to stay alive if it requires them to right-click. They put another ward down, but they still haven't put a sentry. I don't think they have one.
Do they recognize that there is a ward there? I mean, from the way CCNC is moving, they must know.
The first one could have been coincidence, but when you come back the second time, it's not coincidence. And it's just a really good ward placement, because the aggro tri-lane is top. That means if it's going to gank mid, it's going to be this kind of approach here, where it walks down from the shrine area. So that's why that ward is so great on the dire side. Very often you put it on the enemy side of the river, because you expect them to come from that angle, but this is a great move.
Bottom lane, Forev. He's already got that armor debuff, and the snowball will be enough. He tries to wand his way out of it, but unfortunately not enough healing, and he's going to go down. And Optic currently leading in 8 kills. I mean, it starts to get to a point, top as well. I mean, QO, he's weakened himself. Won't die to the Maledict. In fact, he will survive. But, I mean, it's getting to that point now where, you know, as well as Immortals are playing here, Optic are getting so many kills off the back of it, and eventually this will snowball into a sizable lead.
Yeah, it definitely can, but we'll see. They do have to get towers afterwards. For now, they're pressuring the bot lane better. The Jakiro hasn't been able to take his tower advantage that he wants, and they still only have about 1,000 more gold than their opponents. So it may seem like a huge deal. PvD looking possibly dead here.
No, the TP rotation is going to scare him off. They could turn this snowball in. Febby, again, eating tons of damage. Maledict is going to connect onto him. This tries to get the stun out of there, and that Maledict will not take him down most likely. He should be surviving this one as he just backs off.
Yeah, it was a good dodge. Dodging the Ice Shard's damage absolutely saved him. That would have been 180 magic. He would have gone down from that. They lose Dragon Knight ulti, but they're still going to hit mid tower. Bot tower actually goes down. That's a huge loss to Immortals actually, because what Frev really wanted to do is just sit in his lane and eventually take the tier 1 mid, or the tier 1 in the safe lane. And the tier 1 mid is still up, the tier 1 in the safe lane is still up, and all of a sudden this team that's supposed to be pushing wasn't able to do it better than Optic Gaming. So Optic Gaming could kind of run away with things here if they keep making good decisions. It's going to require Immortals basically to get a lot of ganks off. So the other thing they're really lacking is levels. When you do an aggro tri-laning, what often happens is your supports don't have as many opportunities to pull. So now to get those levels back, they have to kill heroes, because their opponents are going to be more highly leveled than them. So if they can actually smoke gank and get kills on Morphling or Puck or Beastmaster, that's how they're going to catch up and get back into this game.
Alright, well, speaking of smoke ganks, we're going to see one coming out from Optic already at their shrine. PBD and Misery just waiting patiently, and MP, I think, is the target here. They spot him. Dream Coil laid down along with the orb. Waning Rift is going to silence him, and now the Snowball comes out to play. The armor debuff is going to be punching him right in the gobber, and MP is gone. Big rotations by Optic, but again, bringing down the mid laner, taking him out, and now they can start to focus their attention on this mid-tier 1.
And it should be dead. I mean, if you kill a big mid-hero like that, it's going to be a bit before they come back up. And Dubu can't even nuke this, because he knows if he does, CCNC can chase with his Illusory Orb. Maybe the Tusk can use a Snowball or an Ice Shard to catch him. And they're going to lose their mid now, so now they're 2 towers behind here. Febby's still pushing bottom, but I mean, that's not going to do everything. And Frev is doing top as well, so this is getting a little bit better for them, but it's not perfect circumstances.
Yeah, they trade out the towers, but yeah, at the end of the day, Optic are currently sitting with a nice, hefty advantage, and it is slowly going up. I mean, at this point in the game, a 2k gold lead, it doesn't seem like much, but it can be the start of something bad. And Immortals, and Kyo was super low as well, somewhere in the midst of that. I think he was farming that creep, and he just got very low, just going to shrine himself up. But now they just have to focus their attention on this bottom tier 1, also the mid tier 1, which is very low themselves. But I mean, right now, Optic, what do you think their attention is going to be focusing on, defending wise, defending what objective?
Occasionally gaking heroes that are solo is the big thing, for sure. Yeah, Puck was messing with the sinking down bottom, and he stayed too long. Like, just shutting down cores like this as they push is a great way to go.
Big rotations in the mid lane, though. I mean, Zai is going to fall to the macro pyre, and he does go down. 2 kills. Well, I should say, at least only the one Zai falls, and it wasn't even them that got the kill. I think the creeps ended up getting a last hit there, but Immortals, they did lose Febby in the bottom lane. They lost MP again as well. That's the biggest thing to take away from this. Forev is very close to getting this last hit with the Liquid Fire, but the deny is there. Misery's got the double damage rune, and denies are pretty big. You get a deny on a tower. You can deny creeps as well. I mean, this is mainly targeted at people who might not watch Dota much, mainly the Optic fans who I know who are in the chat. You deny a tower, I mean, it really does cut away the amount of gold you get as opposed to just getting it normally.
Yeah, and they missed the last hit on the top tower as well, so that's a pretty big gold swing. Part of the reason that they're losing at this point gold-wise, but it's not the end of the world here. As long as they keep their lanes pushed and don't get killed too often, they should be able to catch up a bit. That's kind of what Febby's aiming for here. If he just pushes out the safe lane as far as he can, then he might end up getting... Ooh, he's going to pay for this one, though.
Yeah.
Stayed too long.
Snowball comes down, the punch as well, just to really deny him. The urn on top, and with the shards, that's enough damage to really get that kill. And good rotation by Zai, but yeah, stayed a bit too long in lane there. The Pycat is pinging... Well, someone's pinging him out. I believe it might be Dubu, but they do recognize that Pycat's farming here. There is a lot of members of Immortals currently surrounding him. But he is a Morphling. He can just waveform the heck out of there, so he's not really in a troubling scenario. But CCNC might just walk directly into Dubu. They got the vision from the ward. Macropire laid down. Dubu is going to steal up that Waning Rift as well. That's damage on top. It will finish off CCNC. Absolutely deleted off the map.
Yeah, it was really well done. Having the vision there, they lift into the Dragonite stun, and at that point he's dead. So don't have too many stuns just yet, but Jakiro's now getting into his levels of Ice Path. They're able to push now because they got that kill. In the meantime, Febi's going to try to stop the bot lane from pushing out, but this could be his death again. Oh,
yeah, the roar committed by Zai finishes him up, and Misery as well on top. He just snowballs in just to finish it up. But this will mean the top tier 2 is going to be going down because Immortals, they've got very strong pushing, you know, with the Dragon Form, MP, and also the Liquid Fire. And they're going to use that glyph onto the bottom tier 2. Now we're going to see some rotations. The TP is going to come out here from Foro, possibly to try and defend this one out. And again, using it, just clearing out the waves, but... And here comes the rest of the TPs. However, Pycat comes from behind. Now the rest of the TPs coming in from Immortals. Good shards. Going to be connecting onto him. Pycat just going to be waveforming out of there. But look at this. Kyo jumps onto the back lines. Just teleports onto Misery. Misery trying to earn himself up. Snowball in the nick of time. Surely not going to escape out of this. Nah, Final Dagger will do it, but Forov steals it with the Liquid Fire.
I think Kyo's going to be a little sad about that one. he actually needs some kills to catch up with, but he hasn't died yet at least. But, I mean, his farm level is not fantastic. He's sitting at least, what, 1,200 behind Morphling now?
Yeah.
So if he doesn't start getting some kills, participating in good fights, then he's going to definitely stay behind. Speed doesn't naturally farm extremely fast. You kind of need a couple items usually to make that go better. He does have his Vlad's finish, it looks like. No, actually he's going to go Mask of Menace. So that's kind of a cool build. Mask of Menace with Aquila. It's a good way to do more damage.
I've seen a lot of Mask of Madness usage coming out these days. It seems the recent change, well I say recent, it's been for a while. I mean, Dubu might be going on top though. PBD just wandered into him and he got met with the Waning Rift and the telekinesis just to lift him up, but could be backing off for the time being. But no, the Mask of Madness is a fantastic item. It looks like he's going to be going for the Desolator as his next item. You in agreement with that, Purge?
Yeah, absolutely. You pretty much have to get Deso on PA. If you don't get it, I think you're really messing up because it amplifies all the damage he does. Absolutely worth it. And you can apply it with Stifling Dagger.
Oh dear, Febi. He might have been caught out of position here. I mean, he's going to try and TP away. Anyone to cancel that? Nope. Wow. That
was so smart. So he used Sandstorm long enough so that the Ice Shard vision that it provided went away, and at that point he started teleporting. So the only way Misery would have been able to see him there is to use Frozen Sigil. And he didn't use Frozen Sigil, so he gets out. Very smart for him to TP.
Tasty. Okay. Immortals are still looking for these opportunities. I mean, Kyo desperately still trying to farm up for his next major item, get a few levels under his belt. But this bottom tier 2 is really getting pressured super hard. That has fallen incredibly fast with the siege creep on top of it. And you know, Optic, they're going to be taking another one. But, I mean, Pycat, he might have just bit off a bit more than he can chew. He's going to be silenced up for the time being. However, he did manage to morph strength in the time in. Do they have enough damage to bring him down? Ice Path into the Macro Pyre. No, he's going to escape away. Is he going to tick down? Not quite. Not enough damage. And Pycat gets away, he teleported back to his illusion.
It's actually a pretty good game to be morphling here, because Immortals just has a lot of magic. And if they have a lot of magic damage, morphing to strength doesn't hurt too much. But if you morph to strength when you're taking physical damage, then it's also lowering your armor, so even if you get more HP, it might hurt you in the end. So until PA actually finishes Deso, or is there against Morphling when those circumstances happen, it's actually pretty straightforward for him to stay alive there.
You have it.
Jakiro does have Medallion though, he's going to finish Solar Crest next, so that's even more minus armor, and that's actually going to make it probably easy for Morphling to die, if PA gets his Deso at a reasonable time. They'll try to defend the top tower though.
Yeah, big rotation.
They're ready to fight.
They're trying it, the Ice Path is going to connect onto Misery at least, I should say. But already this tower falling quite rapidly due to the Beastmaster creeps just laying into it. They get about half the damage done to it before backing off eventually, not giving Immortals any opportunities to try and re-engage on top of them.
I mean, Jakiro is just so over-leveled here. He's almost level 14 now. He's got the experience perk. He's actually a pretty decent core for these purposes, but you do have to know that like, he died a lot in his lane. He's getting tanky now, so he's not dying fast, but if they do a push like this, he just kills everything. And he'd even have to use Macropyre for that. So if they allow Immortals to actually defend these tower pushes when Optic Gaming does group, then he's just going to show up and blow the whole wave away, and that's just going to waste a lot of Optic Gaming time. So ideally they want to do a gank before they actually do go for these tower pushes, if possible, but they're not quite ready for that. And when they are, it's going to be a lot easier for them to take this small gold advantage they have and run with it.
Alright, well, we see Furov, he's gone for the Hood pickup here, Hood of Defiance, just for that magic resistance. It is a very magic-heavy team on the side of Optic, but they look like they want to go on for a kill up top here. 4F going to get gone on here. The Dream Coil laid down, but it's going to be Dubu. He ends up stealing it, using it against CCNC now, laying down. PPD going to be using his own little Death Ward to see if he can bring down 4F. That minus armor will be enough to just tick him down. And they are going to get away with one kill here, but PPD might have just sacrificed his life for it. Indeed, it's going to be that 1-for-1 trade.
And surprisingly, that actually wasn't worth it because PPD has 7 kills somehow. I don't know. 7 kills, man.
It shouldn't be happening. It's just, that's so unusual for a Witch Doctor to be.
Yeah, and the crazy part is now Dragon Knight's got Blink and a Hood at 18 minutes, which is super fast. So him initiating is even easier now. That was maybe one of the worst people it could have gone to, I think. If that went to anybody but like Dragon Knight or PA, it would have been reasonably alright, but it's still impressive Witch Doctor just killed him. He actually just killed him.
Yeah, he straight up just, well, Death Ward got off. I mean, he had a negative armor debuff on him as well, so it was, the Death Ward was doing tons of damage because, of course, it's a physical damage spell, but the Dubu has actually managed to steal this Dream Coil. It's going to be off cooldown in about 100 seconds. That's a big steal as far as spells go, and they are smoked up. They're ready to go. They want to try and go on to someone. They have spotted Zai, and immediately, look at that, the leap in, Epicenter to follow it up. Febby, that'll be enough damage to take him out. And I'm going to be finding that pretty easily.
And on the other side of the map, Morphling is still split pushing. It's making illusions as well to back up to his team if he needs it, and Misery's hanging around just in case there's kill opportunities. The rest of Immortals just still playing their game, pushing lanes, trying to catch puck.
Now, Pycat now has actually finished his Lincoln Sphere up. He's going to be going for the E-Blade next. And you mentioned it in the draft phase, but you said this E-Blade is going to be where Optic really shine when it comes to the damage output. But it feels like they haven't been struggling, so to speak, with actually managing to finish off any players. But this E-Blade, it's going to be a big timing. As soon as this comes online, you think that this is really when Optic are going to start to take off?
Normally I would say yes, but based on the item choices that Immortals already have, I think they're going to be fine. There's a lot of hoods already. Dragon Knight already has a hood, and Jakiro also has a pipe, so they're kind of set up already for this heavy magic damage coming from Optic. They don't really care about it too much. So, I mean, I think it'll work well, but it's also going to be a bit limited. But it's definitely what he needs to get. It's going to be good against Sand King if he has detection. It's going to be good against Rubik in some ways. Even though Rubik is real strong right now. Not very agile, but very strong. So they can kind of deal with it for now. But it's definitely going to help. PA's got to be real worried.
Yeah, they're making some movements. And, you know, finally QO does have his Desolator, so he built like quite some time ago. Going to be going for the BKB as his next item, and understandably so. But Optic are rotating now. They want to take this top tier 1. That's the next objective they're looking for, this tier 1 tower. CCNC actually moves in with the Waning Rift pretty early onto Febby, but Febby, all he does is just run his little wee legs out of there. But this tower will be going down. Pycat manages to get the last hit on this. But look at this big rotation now. Immortals have actually fully smoked up in the jungle, but a brilliant scan coming out by Optic. They know exactly what's going on. They're going to see Immortals' movements before it even counts. And Misery, he just walks into it. He might actually fall here. Ice Path, Macropire laid down. Overwhelming damage. Zai now laying down the Primal Roar. CCNC though with the Dream Coil, trying to make it happen as well. We're going to see PPD using that Death Ward in the background, but it's just peppering away at MP. Not enough damage to really finish him off. Optic already losing 2 of their players for the time being. They want to take this fight even further. Epicenter used by Febby. Going to force Pycat away for the time being. There's still one last right click, a double kill for CCNC. Now Pycat might be in a bit of trouble. He's morphing the strength, getting stun locked up for the time being. MP going to breathe a bit of fire onto him. Lincoln's comes down, but with that last Fade Bolt will be enough to bring him down. So Optic going to be losing quite a few players in that last team fight, even though they kind of read it with the scan.
So Immortals does come out ahead there, getting 3 kills versus their 2 deaths. They do lose both of their cores. Okay, that's probably going to even things up a bit. We're getting a free one in the mid lane, so... They're going to try to do some Roche damage here, but once PA gets here, they can definitely do it this rapidly. That's where he's
TP in. Yeah, QO, TP's to the shrines, definitely going to be looking to work his way into it right now. And look at this, jumping on the Mask of Madness. This Roshan is going to slowly but surely just melt down. And Misery is in the vicinity, and he has the Sigil, so he's probably going to try and scout it out with the Sigil as he tries to lay it over, but he might just be a little bit too late. And I did notice as well, the Sigil was stolen by Dubu, just sitting there in a Roche pit, and they do bring it into it, so they know this is going on. But a great cast by PBD is going to be spreading all over the place right now, bouncing between them. They want to initiate in with this. CCNC goes down, or goes in, I should say. QO is going to be picking up that kill. Now the Dream Coil MP cannot quite escape for the time being, just running down these players. MP should be falling here. Indeed he does. The damage is far too much. Now the Death Ward for it does not really have the armor to deal with this. Waning Rift going to be trying to heal up, and he's going to be going for the Ancients, trying to kill him, trying to get denied off with these Ancients, but it should be enough. Yeah, Pycat finds the kill there.
Wow, that ended up going pretty badly there. Observer Ward on the high ground, they did see that they were coming, but the cask is just so dangerous. It basically just roached the whole enemy team, and I think that's maybe one reason they pick Witch Doctor, because they know that Immortals is going to be grouped very often, and if they do that, cask bounces between some crucial heroes like 3 or 4 times. That's a kill. And that's what happened. The PA got stunned like 2 or 3 times, he got roared afterwards, and at that point he's just dead, because they'll eventually throw enough nukes to get a kill.
Yeah, the QO not having this BKB is really hurting him, but I mean it's kind of expected at this point in the game, and builds up the Mask of Madness first, then the Deso. It's hard to get these items online, but he is really getting torn to pieces and controlled up quite well in these team fights, so he does need that BKB to get some stuff done for his team. But what sort of options do Immortals have now, Purge, now coming into this game? Because they are behind by about 5k. They've just lost Roshan as well. What options do they have coming into this next matchup? Because they haven't lost a lot of their tier 2s yet. They still have a few openings.
They just need to get kills, I think. Especially something that could vault the PA towards a BKB will make a big difference. That way, if he does get roared in team fights, at least all that he'll take is physical damage. But he needs to get to that position. And it's hard for them to get kills because Optic Gaming has better vision with the Beastmaster. They have a really good team fight. They have a lot of ways to save themselves. Puck can constantly split push lanes. He's even got a Lincoln's now, so he doesn't have to worry about Burrow Strike anymore. So even the big threat that could catch him is a little bit less likely also. Just a really good place for Optic to be, as long as they keep split pushing lanes and they take team fights that are on their terms. They should be pretty healthy.
Yeah, a lot of Lincolns online for Optic as well. I mean, I mentioned it before, Pycat, he built it up quite some time ago, but speaking of Pycat, he's very close to his own E-Blade now. As soon as he gets that Ethereal Blade, you know, the threat potential here for Optic is going to go up and up and up. I mean, he's not far off it in terms of gold, and there are pings coming out in the lower areas. We see Immortals, they've got a smoke going. They want to be trying to go on to CC&C. He is currently trapped, but now they're going to be rotating back down. I mean, QO is getting gone on for the time being, but the blink by Misery pickup. The stun just missing from Febby. Misery on the run right now, trying to escape away from them. Blink dagger, 5 seconds on cooldown. QO runs him down with the dagger. This should be a kill going their way. Indeed it is. The fire will get breathed onto him, and Mortal's getting a much needed kill there. Now they're going to immediately start rotating to this top tier 2 because it was getting assaulted pretty heavily by Pycat and Zai.
I really like how CC&C played that, sitting to the right side of the tower. Made him very defensive, very difficult to gank, even if his opponent smoked, and that's basically what they're always protecting against. Now they move through, they put sentries on every cliff because they want to ensure that Immortals doesn't know where they are. They spent 300 gold for that, but they got the Observer Ward that Immortals had, so now it's even harder for them to shape. Puck might be in trouble here. Okay, never mind.
No, he's Gucci, he's alright, but MP's going to be... He used that Dragon Form quite some time ago, and so what is his next item he's going to be working towards? The Sand is what he's working towards. Is he going for the Heaven's Halberd? I believe he is, but speaking of that, I mean, we're going to be seeing a team fight that's kicking off in this top lane for the time being. Zai is going to get controlled up for the time being. Heavy stuns coming out on him, and he is eventually just absolutely destroyed by QO. Gets the crit onto him. PPD is next. Double kill for him. Now, I think PCNC and Pycat, they're going to be fine to get out of theirs. They are very mobile, but again, 2 much needed kills for Immortals, turning this one around. What was once a 5k gold lead, now only 2k.
Yeah, those kind of kills are exactly what they need. That was a hard one to win. If that was a full 5v5, I'm pretty sure Optic Gaming would have won that easily due to the Witch Doctor bounces, but they didn't quite have all the backup they needed. They moved over, but they didn't get there in time. Is it the Sand? Yeah. He's got the Halberd finish now. That'll be quite good. He could basically use that to instantly break Lincolns. So if he ever goes for a Puck stun or a Morphling stun, that's going to be his move here. It's probably the cheapest, best active you can get that does that. Instantly kill.
Duo is gone. He's deleted. Stunned up, control. Dubu's going to try and TP his way out of there. Unfortunately, there was no stuns available to them to try and cancel that one out. But I mean, again, that's a big pick onto QO. Like, you can't be affording to lose your most powerful player at this moment. I mean, he's got the lowest amount of deaths on his team aside from Dubu, but at this stage in the game, you know, you've got 11,000 net worth. You need to be starting to steamroll ahead, and QO dying is not the way to get ahead right now for Immortals. In the slightest.
He'll get there eventually, but another tower goes down, and Optic Gaming is still controlling the map well. 5k all
Misery. Misery in the bottom lane. He gets ganked up once again by MP, and Febby tries to basically push in these lanes. And I mean, they trade a tower for it, but Optic's still looking strong in this mid lane. In fact, they got so many creeps that this is going to be another tier 2 taken for them. And Optic are definitely a game of two sides. So at one point, you think Immortals have found an in. They're getting these kills one and time and time again. But then, next thing you know, Optic are taking all these objectives, taking all these towers, and now look, not even a single tier 2 remaining for Immortals.
Yep, and with that, they have tons of map control. Obviously, they can split push decent between like Morphling. If Immortals take a crappy fight somewhere, or if Morphling's ready to split push and he takes a tower, that's when Immortals are really screwed, because at that point, Optic Gaming should easily be able to keep their opponents in their base due to things like Beastmaster Hawk. So still in a lot of trouble here, and they've got to roam around together as a group. And look at this, they're actually just being spotted right now. There's a Hawk here, you can see everything, but it's so hard to play against this, especially with the wards that are on the map on top of that.
Really tough. Really, really tough. I mean, the one thing that Immortals do have going for them is that the Aegis has just expired. So they're going to feel a bit more comfortable trying to take these team fights, but it's tough for them. Now Optic are really wanting to go in. They're going to see another smoke attempt coming in from their own jungle. They're going to be meeting them head on straight away. Look at that Primal Roar into the Dream Core. It's going to mean that QO stunned up. The Waning Rift finishes him up. Meanwhile, it's going to be the two-man stun by Febby. Tries to get off the epicenter, but the E-Blade absolutely stops him in his tracks. PBD still alive. The Glimmer Cape going to be keeping him alive for the time being, but he's actually used the Death Ward right in the middle of the Macro Pyre. Still, they find 3 kills off the back of it. Wonderful engagements. No buybacks available now, and if Optic realize the opening they've got, which I think they do, they're going to be starting to approach and really assault these tier 3 towers. Man,
Immortals were just not expecting Optic to come from the right side, but part of the reason that they've just been split pushing with things like Boars and Illusions and heroes they don't necessarily expect to gank, and all of a sudden that show of force, they found the perfect hero they needed to kill, the guy that was 200 gold away from finishing Black King Bar. They kill him, he's still dead, and now he's about 400 away. And now they're going to get a Rax. They can take Shrines after this. It's just such a good place for Optic to be.
Yeah, Forev is laying down as much damage as he can possibly muster, but Optic right now far too strong. 10k gold ahead now, and taking these racks is going to be a massive boost to them. Once again, they're going to be able to get much more items and snowball themselves even further ahead. Now, there's no more pesky tier 2 towers, and immediately Optic, they're making a decision. They've got to focus down these shrines, get the next few objectives, and these shrines are now open to be attacked now that you've taken down those tier 3 towers, so a lot more gold going their way once again. And the next objective-wise, other than the tier 3 top, I mean, Roshan is close to coming back up. The position that Optic are in, would you say that's the option they're going to be going for next, or are they just going to try and finish out this game?
I mean, it'd be a great thing for Immortals to get as well, so the next Roshan fight could absolutely set a little bit of a different pace in the game, but I'm not so sure that Immortals are going to be able to control it. Again, they've had map vision problems. The mid lane is always going to be pushing here. If they don't have like a gem or something like that, it's very difficult for them to take control. Ooh, this could be a free kill on Misery. No, they're a little scared. They think the whole team is there.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, Optics, their map movements have been very good so far this game, and we saw it earlier from that smoke gank attempt, at least when they just ran straight into them. They've been, well, it feels like one step ahead of Immortals in a lot of these situations. And I mean, Febby's still just hanging around in this upper area for the time being. Just going to be using the trees to his advantage, just hiding around the corner. It was close.
I thought he was going to try to kill the PA or something. Didn't happen. They're currently pushing up the top lane. Febby in a position to cut the creep wave. This is really smart here. He's going to kill the creeps, and then if the next wave gets killed, say by like Jakiro, then the towers will have backdoor protection. But they've also got to stop the mid lane creeps from going in. If any creeps are past like the tier 2s, where the tier 2s are, then they can hit buildings. So for now, they just take the shrine to make this easy.
Yeah, just focusing down the objectives that they can get quite easily. And I mean, Roshan, it's going to be up in about a minute now, minute 5 seconds, so to speak, almost exactly. But Febby's still, pushing in these waves, still able to really do that quite well with the Caustic Finale. And we see a rotation coming in from Zai. He's going to be trying to deal with him. Piker also coming from behind as well. Febby does have a Blink Dagger and a Force Staff, so he's more than happy to just sit around here. But he needs to be careful because Zai just initiates onto him. The Primal Roar, straight up the E-Blade. Very easy kill for him. Brings him down, and now that's 50 seconds with no sanking.
Again, the vision advantage comes through. Just he sees his opponent first. He gets the Blink Roar off before his opponent can react, and another kill means the top lane will push out, and they've actually got 40 seconds here to do what they want. They could maybe use this to take Roche. It's just about up, 25 seconds to go. But since it's not yet, they'll probably just continue pushing out the lanes. Morphling will push bot, send the illusion about mid part of the map. That way he can help his team if needed. MPs and so
MP! Oh, he tries to TP, but the Dream Coil cancels it up. And although he's a very tanky man, surrounded by all of Optic, it's going to be very difficult to try and find his way out of this one. The Walrus Punch will really just control him up, and now he's gone. He is down 65 seconds. He does have buyback, but I mean, again, getting caught out of position, not great whatsoever. I mean, Roshan is up. They realize it's up as well from the Hawk. Now they need to make the decision. Do they just pressure these tier 3s? Force out the buyback and then possibly go for Roshan? Is that the play here? They've already smoked up. They want to be going for something.
No worry yet for
push out
Beastmaster.
these lanes.
Smoke does get wasted. Ooh, it's going to go in though.
Yeah, he's trying to go for this kill onto Forev, but yeah, like you said, the Roar is not actually up yet. Oh no, it is up now, sorry. So he does have that Roar available to him, but Optic, they opt to just back out for the time being. Going to rotate, and it looks like they are heading towards the Roshan pit. That is the next objective for them. And they're in a very solid position, you know, vision-wise, they can just lay down the Hawks. They can see exactly when Immortals are going to be coming into them, and they're going to slowly take down this Roshan. I think as soon as they get this, and then we could be looking at game, because as soon as you get that Aegis and Cheese on you, it's going to be very difficult to try and defend from the high ground.
They even see him walk in rush. They do have a ward there, but I mean, they're definitely going to be late, and they know that. Very tough situation now. Aegis on Morphling, he can dive as hard as he wants.
Be grabbing this one. Who got the cheese? CCNC. Who got the Aegis? Pycat. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. And
makes sense.
Like at this point in the game, so much gold that's gone their way. The item advantage is you know, out of control. Pycat's already got a Skadi as well on his body, and he's working towards his BKB next. But now Optic are in a very comfortable position where they can be a little bit more relaxed in terms of just farming up, getting maybe a next key item, waiting for a pickoff or two, and as soon as they get it, they can really look to do some damage towards the more, you know, the tier 3s on the other lanes.
Yep. And most of the times that Immortals actually did leave their base, they had to deal with the fact that they're getting ganked occasionally. That just puts you in this position where you don't even feel like leaving the base. You feel like all you can do is like nuke creep waves that approach you and do nothing else, and you have no shrines, you can't TP across the map to do something rapidly, you're just limited to smoking pretty much.
Right. I mean, all the pressure is going to be on Immortals to really do some damage here, and you can see that they're really just far too scared to move out of their base. QO just only really mustering up the courage to farm up a small little creep camp just there, but for the time being, they are just playing very patiently, grouping up a lot as well. I mean, they might go for a smoke play, but it's going to be super risky and very hard to execute the way Optic are playing, and you can see Optic have already got the same idea. They're going to be going in with their own smoke, seeing if they can spot any stragglers who are possibly ventured a little bit too far out of the base, but they don't get anything from it. But this is still a fantastic position to be in right now if you are Optic, because the ball is in your court. You have to wait for Immortals to really make the movements, and PPD might try and lay down a ward, get a bit of vision for them in their base. They should spot this, but Pycat now going to get stunned up. Will waveform out of there.
Well, they can kill the creep wave, but unfortunately there's multiple waves going in.
Yeah, they spot that D ward, they aren't going to be able to get it, so the cheeky bit of vision, but PPD didn't get away with it. So next wave coming in as well. It's going to be an important one as well, siege wave as well, a little siege creep just to help them really assault down these towers. And even though Forev is there with the high ground defense, and it can be quite tough for Optic to get in, all they really need is a good blink initiation from Zai to really get the ball rolling here.
Yeah, they just kill the creep wave. Right now they're going to chip it with boars, I guess, is pretty much all they can do. So it's a little bit hard for Optic to go high ground like this. They just need to find an opportunity and go. That's going to be what they have to do.
I mean, Pycat is already assaulting this top tier 3 tower. They want to initiate onto him. They think this is their time to go, but remember, he has an Aegis, and already, this is a Morphling you're dealing with. He just TPs straight back to his illusion, and now he's back with the rest of his team, and they forced the positioning of Immortals all the way back. You see the Roar coming in from Zai. They try to connect that, and they're not going to be able to find Febby, and that's a big opening. 60 seconds with no sanking now. Optic, they have an opening to take this 4v5. See the cast also coming out. They could actually bring him down. Still moving into the back lines. Misery tries to make it work. The Ice Path to do enough damage. Still rolling around. Now the Death Ward going to be laid down by PPD, but they have to get back. Optic, they're in a bit of a dangerous situation. They lose the puck. CCNC goes down. PPD as well. No buybacks on these players. Misery decides to run to the depths of their base, possibly to try and buy an item or two, but he is going to try and get his way out of there. Still, the Liquid Fire is going to cancel up his TP or his Blink Dagger for the time being. Snowball forward. Forev's there though. Do they even realize he's still there? They should do. Again, cancelling up the blink. It's the wild chase. They should be able to get him. Nice ice path will connect him. And well, Immortals, they do manage to defend, and that's the trouble, isn't it, that Optic are running into here, is the fact that they've got to be really careful with this high ground defense. The ice paths, the macro pyres, as soon as Jakiro as well, as soon as Forev reaches level 25 and gets that plus, 1.25 seconds duration on the ice path, that's a real dangerous situation, because they've got a lot of lockdown to deal with the sort of tankiness that Optic have.
That was the problem initially, was that Puck actually got chain stunned and behind enemy lines, and he had used Orb, so he was in a terrible situation. They ended up chasing after him to secure the kill, and when that happens, I don't even think he got Dream Coil off. so his opponents can basically just run him down. And that's why Puck Eggs is like the perfect counter to what Immortals always wants to do. Immortals wants to run at you and chase you down and have more mobility and outplay you in those moments where they have an advantage. And if you just get his, if he just gets his ultimate off and catches a couple of heroes, they're forced in this small area, and no matter what happens, you're going to get stunned. But they didn't get that. Their heroes fell one by one, and still no second set of racks is going down. They still have a pretty good gold advantage, at least, but
they do, yeah. It's that 10k, isn't it, that you can see at the top of your screens. And I mean, Pycat's currently sitting on 21k gold, leading it in. He has enough gold for his BKB, but he's probably saving for the buyback. He's only got about 2,000 gold surplus, so he wants to wait just in case. Realistically, he might opt to just buy it. But we're going to see a team fight kicking off in this upper area potentially. I thought they caught the player off guard. Febby is still really just trying to push in these waves, really just trying to buy as much time as he possibly can for his team. Going to be sitting in the forest for now. Epicenter used. Going to be trying to get this kill just to clear out the waves, but Zai is on it. Commits the roar. Febby tries to TP out of there, but he's not going to get away with it. And he will be meeting his maker once again. That will mean that the Aegis expires on Pyka, however, but again, that's a 60-second opening for them.
Interesting choice. I mean, that's one way to kill creep waves. He blew it up real fast. And yeah, it does save them 30 seconds at the top lane's push, but that was pretty aggressive. Not to mention,
questionable.
Zai was ready for that one.
Yeah.
Definitely ready. Oh, he's got an Ags. Interesting. I've almost never seen Beastmaster Ags picked up, but increases your cast range by a lot, by about 300, and lowers the cooldown by something like 30 seconds. So it's down to like a 45-second cooldown. It's all right. Kind of like
pretty
the range
good.
in this circumstance, actually.
Got the cooldown reduction talent as well, so that's actually down to about 40 seconds now. So
it's not bad.
Yeah. All adds up. It's pretty good.
Very good for split push ganking, basically. If somebody's split pushing, you just jump on them, you roar them, and you're not actually gimped for a super long time. It's more of like a moderately long cooldown. By the time you get to their base, you're going to roar again. So I like it as a choice. It's pretty good, this game.
Yeah, Optic very grouped up, and you can see they're drawing on the minimap as it stands. You know, definitely trying to plan out their rotations, seeing if they can get a pick or two. I mean, with the Aegis expiring, they have lost a bit of an advantage. They still have the cheese, I believe. Is that CCNC holding on to it? They use it? Or somebody else? If they moved it around? Yeah, it's Pycat. Pycat's got the cheese now. So they could opt to just wait until Roshan is back up. I mean, there's a chance he's going to respawn at about a minute and a half. And they could wait again for the Aegis advantage. But, I mean, right now, it is Optic. You know, they don't really have a lot of pressure on them to end out this game. They are winning. They're farming up the minimap. They've got full control of it. Immortals are very scared to leave their own base even. And one slip up from Immortals is going to give Optic an opening large enough for them to just, you know, take out the game.
The scary thing is actually go both ways, though. I think if Optic Gaming makes another teamfight mistake like they did in the last one, it could cause a huge issue. Oh, that was actually...
Oh, Febby. Oh, he's going to get out of there. He's fine.
Game sense, I guess. Maybe he spotted somebody else. I think maybe this Observer here spotted the Witch Doctor, and that's why. That was perfect timing, though. If that punch it's probably dead.
Yeah, Febby's desperately just trying to push in these lanes, just buying his team as much time as they possibly can, and I guess that's the game plan right now. The stun does connect onto Febby, but no, he's fine. He's ready to get out of there. Sigil is up by Misery. Doesn't want to use it to try and scout, though. He's just going to be keeping it there for the time being. And Cute's pressing up quite far ahead indeed. He does have his BKB now, including a Mantis style. He's got a decent amount of farm. In fact, the next item he's working towards is a Diffusal Blade. Obviously doesn't want to buy it yet because he's saving for the buyback, but he's going to TP back home. So, I mean, the longer this goes on, is this going to be working better in Optic's favor? Because I feel like it's going to be Immortals just building up more and more of a gold advantage. And, you know, at the end of the day, the later the game goes, the more of the, you know, these big gold advantages don't mean as much because items start to come online for the Immortals, and the sort of gap in power between the teams, it becomes less and less.
I see your point, but I think Optic Gaming's lineup is just super good late game. Morphling is one of the best late game carries because he's so mobile. All of his items are really expensive, so by the time you're actually 6-slotted, like he's got 25k gold right now, and he's almost 6-slotted, almost. And that's with like a BKB, and he still hasn't bought BOTs yet, so he still has a long ways to go. Whereas on the other side of the map, PA's basically at item slot limit, just about. He's got space for like one more item, so I think their Optic Gaming is going to be fine. That they're definitely outfarming their opponents right now. They're getting more advantage. Just comes down to if they get picked off.
Oh, well, we see a rotation coming in through the mid. They want to bring down Misery. The stuns are collapsing. Immortals go for a very aggressive maneuver straight down the mid lane. Roshan is up. They might want to try and convert this into an advantage for them. 40 seconds with no Misery. That's no Tusk. Going to bring down the Sigil. Optic will have realized this, and now they're going to see if they can really try and contest this. Immortals are seriously considering whether or not they want to try and do this. Dubu using that Glimmer Cape, and they want to fight under the shrine here. Macropire laid down. The Lincoln Sphere is going to get popped up. CCNC is way too much damage. They might just be able to pick him up here. Going to phase shift to try and save himself for the time being. Raw gets sent out as well. They will collect the kill onto QO. He goes down. MP now in a very dangerous spot. Again, he's going to fall. They do still have to buy back. Triple kill for PyCat right now, making an absolute monster right now. Monster kill streak, I should say. And, I mean, with that big opening... Surely not. Forev. Yules himself, he's not getting out of this. There's no way in hell. Ice Path, Ultra Kill for PyCat. Walking away with that one, and I mean, that means that they aren't going to be able to get Roshan for free, but do they even need it right now? Look at this. The wave's pushed in, the tier 3 top being taken down by the creeps. It's wide open for them.
Yeah, that was great for Optic Gaming there. I thought it was looking really bad. I thought the puck was going to die for sure, but the crucial thing was the Lincolns from the Morphling. He used Lincolns on the puck. He knew they were going to go on puck, and it happened to dodge enough stuns that puck somehow lived through that entire thing. It looked like he was going to die instantly. They also got on a bad foot as well because when Misery got ganked, he actually bought out, which prevented his buyback, but they still won that fight 4v5 somehow. Oh, he's going in.
QO is getting super aggressive. I mean, he got roared upon, but immediately pops the Manta. Oh, he's super weak. Pops the BKB. Dream called up. Stun now. Run out of place. Dubu used that Glimmer Cape on him to try and save him. Meanwhile, in the top lane, PyCat is just playing some Rat Dota over here. Brings down the lane of Rax, and that leaves Optic only one more lane of Rax, and they've got the Mega Creeps. Immortals on the back foot. One last attempt at trying to defend this now, and they want to go for this. Febby just trying to desperately push in these lanes. Zai's just hidden around the corner. He's going to get Yuled up. He is spotted, but slowly but surely the buildings are just falling so rapidly. E-Blade onto QO. QO Manta dodge. I think he actually managed to avoid that waveform there. Impressive stuff, but now we're going to see PPD uses his own depth ward. Febby, big epicenter, connects onto 2 targets, but unfortunately not enough damage, and that will be it. GG, well played, is called. And Optic Gaming going to be taking map number 1 in this series.
They played super well. Their tri-lane went well. They ganked the solo Jakiro enough times to really limit his advantage. And Immortals took a couple good fights, and they eventually got BKB, but it was like Optic Gaming was always just 2 steps ahead of Immortals. Maybe not a huge amount, but they ganked the Jakiro a ton. They killed PA right before he finished his BKB. They kept finding him right before he got BKB and killing him. And then the late game situations, they still won team fights they maybe shouldn't have won. They split pushed well. They got almost triple the kills. They just played amazing.
Yeah,
So.
very fun game to watch, very fun game to cast, but it's not over just yet. We've got one more game, possibly, potentially even 2. I mean, I might be giving Optic a little bit too much credit here, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see where Immortals turn it around now, at least in game number 2.
I think they can do it, but they're going to have to get the better of we almost said OG. Optic Gaming in the early game. That's going to be important. So they got to win their tri-lane if possible, if they do that, or maybe at better rotations that are more successful. So we'll be back in just a second, guys, with game number 2. Don't go anywhere.